We spent much of this hour talking about the school shooting at East High School today. So back with us today is licensed clinical social worker Steve Carlton to talk about how this impacts people. Normally you talk about a single event and the impact it has on people. The East High School community was still very much grieving the death of Luis Garcia from just a month ago. And now this happens, and you wonder, how does that layer into how a community, students, parents, teachers, administrators, how do they process this?
Yeah, the first trauma is usually filled with fear and just being scared and wondering, like it's something that's not supposed to happen in that setting. And so when you're talking about the third lockdown in East High School in 1 year, now we're transitioning more to anger, right? And I think that's understandable for these students and these parents that are experiencing this repeated trauma.
Anger is natural. Is it valuable? It probably almost always isn't, but how do you then deal with the anger that you're feeling for having all these things happen at your school to your friends?
I think our leaders in these situations need to validate that anger and have some empathy and understanding for it. Anger can be useful. It can encourage discourse, right? There's lots of discourse going on about school resource officers right now and everything else, and that's really important to start having these conversations. It's incredibly important that these kids feel safe going back to school after spring break. And how are we going to do that? How are they going to make these kids feel safe going to school there again?
And that's, I think, the concern, because this happens everywhere, and sadly, too often. We can hear it all the time. When I hear about them not wanting to go back to school or go online, I think we forget what much our kids have been through in the last 3 years, because they lost a lot with COVID and they've missed the socialization. They've missed having teachers present teaching them. So, wow, that's a lot I think it's trauma on top of trauma and their mental health.
Yeah, and I think these kids need to be hearing it from the adults and leaders in their lives that this isn't normal. This isn't healthy. This isn't good. This is challenging. You've had a hard time. That's what these kids need to be hearing. We need to validate that. The knee-jerk response is to brush it under the rug, right? Act like it's not happening, like to numb yourself,
move on,
to avoid it, right? We don't want to talk about it. And parents and leaders, they really need to resist that urge right now. They need to talk about it. We need to have more discourse. We need to channel that anger towards better solutions to these problems. And I think ultimately that's what's going to make people feel safe again and confident that they're
and empowered, maybe.
Yeah, feeling safe for parents and for kids and for teachers and everyone feeling safe. How can they, I mean, I'm not asking a technical question about making people feel safe, but not feel naive, like, I guess they said they took care of it, so I'm all good. You're going to have it in your head.
And that's one of the most common reactions to trauma, is it changes your beliefs, right? If people were thinking at the start of the school year, schools are safe, and then this happens 3 times in a row, then at the end of it, you're like, is school safe? Right now we have more to question that on. And so perception and thought process about this stuff really does matter. And so we have to take this stuff seriously, and there needs to be a different plan. There needs to be a better response that will equate to people recovering from this.
Yeah, there is a lot to process, and there will be for the East High School community. Hopefully they can get that started sooner, and hopefully they can have some success and safety with that. Steve, it's always good to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.